Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Alachua, Florida, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host Raghunath and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Maha Mahotsav, the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, a special holiday for all of us in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Bhakti Yoga lineage. We're going to have a special show today dedicated to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You know, Prabhu means master. Mahaprabhu means the Maha master.
Big master.
Great master. We're going to
Great
talk about
master.
why he's a great master in our life. Me and Mara have just been driving 3 kids straight down, left at 2:45 in freezing cold rain. We didn't think we were going to make it, and we just kept on driving. Practically, the kids didn't. My kids just didn't even no one had to go to the bathroom. We just kept on driving. Did pretty good. Kind of hit a couple traffic jams, and then Mara got a speeding ticket. She hit some rain at the end. We thought we were going to get a flat or something, but pulled in here at 10:30. We're greeted by my son and the family he's staying with down here, and it was like a little party at 10:30. Got to bed late, completely exhausted. When my alarm went off this morning, I was like, "Oh, please, God, no." And now I'm going to do the show. I'm a little bit resentful. I'm a little bit angry.
Grumpy.
And I'm a little bit grumpy. And yeah, that's my morning today. Good morning, everybody. But it's an auspicious day. I took a cold shower to try to snap out of it and get a sharper mind.
Didn't work?
Didn't work. Shower's not that cold here in Florida. And yeah. Good morning, Kaustubha.
You're going to take a cold shower in talk of the glories of Sri Chaitanya. And it's going to refresh you, Raghunath. And you're going to walk out of this show. At the end of the show, you're just going to be flying high. You're going to forget all about the maladies that you're suffering from right now.
Mm-hmm.
Old age.
Well, that wasn't one of the maladies, but thank you for reminding me.
That's what this is. You used to go used to be like a bowling ball. You could roll off the airplane flying from Europe, go do 2 shows and teach 2 yoga classes in one day.
Yeah, I know. I used to have this. I don't know if it's COVID or my post-COVID or at this point in my life. I used to go nonstop.
Yeah, you're getting older. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah. You guys just got a flash flood warnings in New York. How's New York City? We got hit by a snowstorm, but we just missed it.
There's a lot of rain yesterday, but everything's okay.
Okay. All right, Kaustubha. Any announcements? You noticed my new Timothy Tucker T-shirt? Isn't that cool?
I did.
Timothy Tucker's one of our regular Zoomers, but he makes these cool T-shirts, and I think you can get them at Timothy. Put your Instagram address on the board, please, because now everybody wants these shirts. I'm getting nothing but messages about this cool Krishna T-shirt. You know, it's a cool time. You know, there were no T-shirts when we were growing up. You couldn't get a cool Krishna conscious T-shirt. You know what they had? And I don't know if you remember these, Kaustubha, but when I first started coming to the temple, they imported shirts from India, and they'd sell them in the gift shop, T-shirts.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, it's something about the India physique. The men are narrower. Men have a narrow Sattvic physique, and their collars were really huge.
Oh well, that T-shirt is well. You know what, Raghunath?
You know
You
what
don't have
I'm
to
talking
say
about?
this. Well, that T-shirt is meant to be worn underneath the kurta, so it's got a big, long scoop neck, so that it doesn't show up underneath. You know, you don't see that you're wearing it, and it's
It
tight.
was so narrow, man. It
But
was
it's
like
narrow
made for
because
like a.
also because it's meant to go underneath the shirt, so it doesn't. You know, it's designed to be that
I
way.
wore that thing to a Youth of Today show once. I looked like Lou Ferrigno busting my muscles out of that thing. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like.
Okay. Did
Okay.
we do the announcements? I'm spacing it.
You're gonna have to you're gonna have to get on the horse and take the reins today because I am up there with
Here's
right
mine.
next to being useless.
All right, we're back to recovery group meetings today at 9:30 and 7 p.m. Eastern time. And showtime tomorrow will be 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
All
Okay.
right.
And, today I will be going to the Bhakti Center in the evening. This Sri Prahlad will be giving class. It'll be a great celebration there. If you're in town, please stop on by. We'd love to see you.
You know, I got in last night and all the kids were teenagers were hanging out talking and
What time did you
Mukunda and
roll in?
Madhurika, the family were staying with us, said, yeah, the boys are waking up early and going to Guru Puja today. I was
Yeah.
like, what? They're gonna go to Guru Puja. I was like, okay. My parenting job is finished here. Thank you. Good night, everyone. It was like such a mic
Get
drop
back in the
moment.
car and head back home. Okay.
But then their kid went and Rocco didn't wake up. And it was so, oh, ouch. What have I done wrong as a parent? He didn't go to Guru Puja.
Yeah. All right,
Someone,
Raghunath, I want you to chant a mantra with enthusiasm right now to break out of this little bit of haze that you're in.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
Very
How about
nice.
that?
You feel a little better already, I bet, don't you?
Yeah, we did listen to a lot of Lord Chaitanya Leela on the way down.
Sounds like it was a good drive, but it just wore you out.
It was a great drive.
So you
Got to
feel a
know
little
Mara a
worn
little
out today.
better.
All right.
Told her
That she's like a criminal, a speeder.
she was barely speeding. The guy just had a quota. You could tell she was going like 14 miles above the speed limit.
Only
I was like,
14 miles.
and I had one of those sergeant
14 is
cards,
significant.
get out of jail free cards. I call them. Works every time. He looked at it. He was like, "You're getting a ticket." He was not having it.
Okay.
And I told her all about the hardcore scene and how we got into Krishna, like more details than I ever told her.
Oh.
The hardcore scene, how Krishna influenced into that hardcore scene, the origins of it, all the colorful characters in that scene.
Mm.
There's various thugs, I guess you could call it thugs, that were inspired by Krishna. Krishna is all attractive. He can inspire someone who's very saintly, but has no connection to God, or it can inspire some type of criminals.
Sure.
And I remember one time going to my apartment on the Lower East Side, back when the Lower East Side was a real dangerous place. And I lived with like 14 people, all different types of crazy people. I lived in this apartment. And this big sort of gang member came out of the apartment. I don't know what he was doing there. He didn't live there. But I was sort of into Krishna, but not really. I was just more into spiritual things.
We're definitely squirreling off right here.
It's a good story. It's a no, it has something to do with today. Come on.
Okay. All right.
It was Gaur Purnima. It was the
Gaur Purnima.
appearance. Gaur is Lord Chaitanya. Purnima means the full moon. If you've noticed in the sky, there's a beautiful moon today. And he looked at me and he goes, "Are you going to Gaur?" Like he said in like a real harsh voice.
Gaur Purnima.
"Are you going to Gaur Purnima today?" I was like, I don't know what that is. He goes, "It's Lord Chaitanya's appearance." And I was like, oh, no. And I didn't know. And he goes,
You don't say.
and he looked at me and he pointed his finger and he goes, "It's going to be auspicious." I love when sort of gang members use like very beautiful Victorian British words like auspicious.
Mm.
So that was the first time I've ever heard of Gaur Purnima. I did not go that year. That would have been like 1987.
Hey, let's get this figured out for everybody today. The actual pronunciation is Purnima.
Gaur Purnima. Gaura
It's got a
Purnima.
long A down there in the end. Yeah.
Gaur Purnima. Okay.
Someone, you know where I learned that?
Where?
I learned that on a train from Calcutta to Krishnanagara.
Are you sure it's not just that's the Sanskrit way to say it as opposed to
No,
like
the
Hindi?
Bengalis were like, they were correcting me, you know.
Gaur Purnima.
Purnima.
Could be just a
Okay.
Bengali way to say it. Let's ask Shia Shastri. She's on the show. She'll know.
It's,
You're like, no, I do know. I'm just saying there's
I always
there's
have to-
many, many languages that use these
well,
words
in
in
Sanskrit, it
India.
definitely has a long A.
Yeah.
And the
Like my name's
Bengalis,
Raghunatha, but no one's calling me that.
and the Bengalis. Is it a long A at the end of Raghunath? Raghunath?
I think it is.
I don't think it is Raghunath.
I think it is.
Okay. But the
Like
Bengalis,
like your name. Like so many people are called in India Kaustubh. Kaustubh. That's why sometimes I call you Kaustubh.
But I'm telling you, you brought up the
Kaustubha.
question of
Your
the
name is
Bengalis, and I'm
Kaustubha.
telling you that the Bengalis pronounce it with a long A in the end. So your question,
Yeah.
your doubt has been answered, and now we're all good.
I wasn't doubting it. I wasn't doubting it. I was just saying it's Pornim, and I think there are languages that do call it Pornim.
Name one.
I don't know. That's why I was going to go to Shia Shastri and
All
ask
right, you
her.
are just a grumpus today. We're gonna start talking about Lord Chaitanya right now. Okay.
You know what I can say about Lord Chaitanya is this: imagine digging in the Florida beaches and finding a beautiful treasure chest, like a beautiful ornate treasure chest.
Why would you be digging in the first place?
Why? Because people dig on beaches.
Do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You never
All
dig
right,
on a beach?
Continue.
They dig, and
just
imagine
like-
you
like a
hit
kid
something hard.
digs
And it's this beautiful golden ornate treasure chest,
Yeah.
but there's no key to get in.
Oh.
So when people get interested in everything, people get interested in everything: metaphysical things, spiritual things, reincarnation, Indian art, Indian dance, astrology, palmistry, gemstones, all these things. Like it's like a treasure chest. They're all sort of interesting. How do you get in? Because each one of those things I mentioned is like an ornate feature on the chest. But how do you get inside the treasure chest? Let me tell you, my friend, the key is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the key that opens up that treasure chest. And it ties all those very interesting subjects. It ties them all together and demonstrates their purpose. And Lord Chaitanya is sitting in that chest. No, Lord Chaitanya is the key. I'm continuing with that analogy. Key. And when that treasure chest opens up, it's
He's
the
inside.
Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam's inside.
Okay.
What do you think about that analogy?
All right, I like that, Raghunath. Yeah,
People are interested in all this
He's shown the
stuff,
light on the Bhagavatam and how special it is, and how Bhagavatam is the key. In one sense, Bhagavatam's the key. It's key to understanding all the other literature. It's where
Well,
Arthur
I think
and
Lord
so-
Chaitanya is the key to understanding the Bhagavatam. Check this one out. No
so he's the
Krishna?
key
No
to the key.
Krishna?
It's like one of those things where you put the key and you open up, and then there's another key inside there,
And the Bhagavatam's in there.
and then you get that key, and then you open up and you have the Bhagavatam. in
That's a
there.
good idea. Okay. We
Yeah.
can play with this analogy. How about this one? No Lord Chaitanya, right? No, N-O, Lord Chaitanya. No Radha Krishna. But if you know Lord Chaitanya,
That's like that. No peace. No.
but if
peace.
you know Lord Chaitanya, then you will know Radha and Krishna.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now,
Like
works
that?
for me. Yes.
It's real. That's the real one.
okay. Let's speak a little bit about who he is.
Okay.
I'll get it started. Let's just map it out a bit. The thing is, even amongst Krishna, if we go to Srimad Bhagavatam, it lists all the different avatars of Krishna, and then it says, "But ete changsa kala pungsa Krishna stu Bhagavan Svayam." Krishna is the source of all of these avatars. They're all coming from that sweet baby Krishna, that very personal, most personal manifestation form, right? In that form of Krishna, he's showing everything. This is the whole me. right? The different avatars, he may not be revealing his whole self, right? But Sri Chaitanya, it's him. It's his full. It's like knowing that, just like a person, they may not reveal their whole personality in the workplace
Mm-hmm.
or under different circumstances in different settings. But when you get them at home, they're in the backyard. You get the whole person. They reveal their whole. Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan, he reveals his whole personality in all the different unique ways that he can be loved. He's called Akila Rasamrita Murti. In that form, in that Murti, within that form, he can respond and reciprocate with all different rasas, all different moods of love and devotion. So that is the source of all the avatars. But then he comes into this realm because somehow we've wanted to try to experience what it's like to be him in some way, and in reality we can't support that. We don't have that ability, but we're able to enter into this virtual reality of this world, the material realm. But he comes into that realm, he maintains that realm, he creates it, maintains it, supports it, and enters into it in so many different ways for different reasons and different purposes. And so these different avatars have different purposes, and there's different categories of avatars, right? Like we could start by saying there's the Purusha avatars, and that's for the creation and the maintenance of the material world, right? And those Purusha avatars are 3 different forms of Lord Vishnu, beginning with Mahavishnu, he's called. There's within the unlimited spiritual sky, you could picture like an incalculably large bubble, right? And Lord Vishnu is lying down and floating in the water of that. And it's said that from
The bubble has water in it. Just
yes, the bubble
want
has
to mention
water.
that.
And within that bubble, he's lying, and from the pores of his skin, as he breathes, unlimited more bubbles come out, and each one of those is a universe.
It's
right?
like a bubble machine is going
it's a big
on
bubble
here.
bath going on.
It's like a big bubble bath, all filled with Lord
Raghunath's cheering
Vishnu.
up. Raghunath's cheering. We just had to talk about bubbles, and he's perking up. And so each one of those is a universe, right?
It's hard to believe, isn't it? But why not? Sure.
Why not?
You know what?
How else
Why
was this
not?
universe created?
What do I know?
It's effortless for him. It's just a breath, right? And this is also, it's helping us. This is the zoomed out vision is helping us understand, in one sense, it's this counterbalance. In one sense, we are eternal. We are forever. We are, in that sense, unlimited. We are made of indestructible spiritual energy that has no beginning and no end. And at the same time, currently our situation is we're this tiny, 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 tiny little speck whose lifetime is just the tiniest, tiniest, tiniest little speck. And we're considering all this to be so important and so significant. And we get so upset about the smallest little things. No, zoom out. Understand just how tiny our problems are.
I'm sure there are like living entities dying when I inhale too, huh? And like,
so
I don't
now
know
you're
the science
considering
behind this.
yourself like the big.
Well, that's because it's a Fibonacci spiral, my friend. These things go deeper and deeper and deeper, deeper down.
Sure.
We don't even know the bottom of it, but what you're explaining is sort of the top of it.
Okay.
The exhales and the inhales of Lord Vishnu are creating and destroying universes.
Yeah. With the exhale, they go out. On the inhale, they come in. The entire lifetime of Brahma, which is practically inconceivable for us, is just one breath of Lord Vishnu.
And I think I'm so important.
Yeah. And so, and then he enters into each one of those universes. In the second Purusha avatar, Garbhadakshay Vishnu manifests. He's lying on top. There's water in this bubble too. And
every bubble has water in it. So
not necessarily, but this one does. And he's lying on top of it, and from his navel grows the lotus. And upon that lotus appears Brahma.
It's sort of like a terrarium, isn't it?
Something like that. And Brahma he goes into deep meditation, and Krishna he enters his heart and shares with him all that he needs to know, so that in a mood of devotion, he can engineer that entire universe, create all the different species of life, create all the different planets, create all everything.
And this particular Brahma is not even aware of all the other Brahmas growing out of
Well,
the
those are
other
the other
lotus
bubbles.
navels and the other bubbles.
Yeah, it's a whole different
Yet
bubble.
this Brahma is the creator of every living entity within that universe.
Yes.
And therefore, he's like, what a powerful position I have. And that's why we see that sometimes even Lord Brahma can fall into illusion,
That's
because
right.
he's got like this, he's got the best gig ever.
A lot
He's
of
like
times
the
when you're
original
really,
being.
yeah, you're really powerful, you think, wow, I'm a big shot. And then so then now he's created all these different species and all these different living entities. The third Purusha avatar, the third form of Lord Vishnu, it enters the heart of every living being, and even within every atom of the universe.
In that bubble.
Yeah, now it's like, now these aren't exactly bubbles, but I guess atoms are like bubbles in a sense, and he enters in
I
those.
think maybe the takeaway today is everything's a bubble.
Okay, and not necessarily Raghunath, but okay. I think we could come up with a better takeaway than that. But so now he spread his awareness in every nook and cranny. You know, he's like the sun spreads its rays. He spread his awareness throughout this universe and throughout every universe, throughout every living body. This is what it means to be Vishnu, right? It means the pervader. His awareness is pervading everything. So in order for this world to work for us, we need these Purusha avatars to manifest in this way and to accompany us through this world. But then, within that vast expanse of time, one day of Brahma, the life of this universe, there are 14 different manvantars, another type of avatar that is empowered to kind of govern different periods of time. And we can read about some of those when we read Bhagavatam, the different manus for the different ages and so on.
By the way, this thing goes very deep. If some of you are like, well, this is too complicated, just can we have like
we're gonna get to
God
Lord
and the
Chaitanya.
Son of God and the Mother of God? Can we keep this simple? You can keep this really simple if you want. You could say, love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. We can say that. Love Krishna, love Radha and Krishna. We can say that. But it's like opening up a watch. You can either just tell the time, or you can like open it up and see how that watch works.
And you might not realize how special it is if you don't open it up.
Yeah, open it up. Take a look around. You don't have to live there. Like some people are really like scientifically minded and they live in this stuff. Like,
No.
and then there's this
Once you
avatar
know
and this
how
avatar.
special it is, and every time you look at the watch, you don't have to open it up again. You can just look at
Appreciate
it.
it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. So
Okay.
today we're going to open it up a little.
Now, there's another type of avatar called the Guna avatar, which means that this world, we spoke this last week or something like that, right? Like there's these different like video screens. They have that, I think it's RGB color, red, green, blue. Like there's little pixels of these three different colors, but those three different colors in different combinations, they create all the different shades that we see on the video screen.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah. So in the same way, there's three different energies that this entire material realm is made of. And they blend in different ways to create all the different varieties. But they have different influences, right? There's the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. And there's an avatar that governs each one of these. Brahma becomes an empowered avatar, right? Sometimes Krishna even takes the role of Brahma himself. Sometimes he empowers another living entity to do it. But you have Brahma, you could say, in charge of Rajas. You have Shiva in charge of Tamas, and you have Vishnu himself in charge of Sattva Guna. And so we're not going to go into too much about this. There's also Leela avatars. Leela avatars means Krishna comes and he plays in a particular way. Usually he's battling someone or doing something heroic, And there's a whole list of Leela avatars. He comes as a fish. He comes as a tortoise. He comes as Lord Ram. He comes as Lord Nrsingadev. He comes as Vamanadev. He comes as Varahadev. He comes in all these different to perform. He comes as Krishna himself as a Leela avatar and performs Leela. And in that Leela, there's so much for us to learn from, but also to be attracted to, right? Like we need to see the magnificent, beautiful, wondrous Leelas of Krishna in all the different ways that they manifest. And then there's also another kind of avatar called Shakyavesha avatar, which means it's not exactly Krishna, but it's Krishna's power working through a living being.
Hmm.
The four Kumars are called Shakyavesha avatars. Narada, Brahma himself. We read about Prithu in the Bhagavatam, Parshuram in the Bhagavatam. We even hear how Vyasadeva himself is an empowered incarnation. And then it's even said like there's a category of Shakyavesha avatar called Vibhuti, which means like the different devas, that they're kind of like reflections of the Lord's power. So you have Indra and Agni and Meru and Brihaspati and Kartikeya and Brigu. These different, they have the Lord's power working through them, and they kind of fit under this subcategory of a subcategory of avatars. Then you have something, and this is part of where Lord Chaitanya comes in. There's the Yuga avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
It means that for every age of the 4 seasons of the universe, there's an avatar of Vishnu appears that reveals the Yuga Dharma, that reveals that this is how we practice spirituality in this age. And in this age, Sri Chaitanya is the Yuga avatar for the age of Kali. And he teaches how we practice spirituality, particularly through Sankirtan, right? That in this age, the Yuga Dharma is Harinam Sankirtan. It's not... Yeah, go ahead.
It's the Yuga avatars that come in the different colors. Is it correct?
Yes, there's white, red, blackish, and yellow. And he would be yellow or golden, like that.
Yeah.
So
the
yes, something you want to say? No.
Green's one of them too. Didn't you get it?
No, green is not one of them.
It's green.
That's St. Patrick's Day, Raghunath. It's a whole different thing.
That's the Shakyavesha avatar of St. Patrick.
No, there's white, Shuka, there's red, Rakta, there's Krishna, blackish, and there's Pita, yellow, in the age of Kali. But you know, Lord Chaitanya is much more than a Yuga avatar. And that's where we want to bring this conversation. And this is the very esoteric theological idea that's expressed. I understand that for people that are new to this, just wrapping your head around Krishna is like really hard to do, you know?
Yeah. And now we're going to like throw this at you.
And now it
Yes,
gets
we
even
are.
more
Just today,
esoteric. Yeah, but let's just try to hear it and try to understand it. When you really understand it and when it really clicks, this theological understanding just kind of goes, your mind just kind of goes, whoa, like this is so beautiful and sweet, and I just can't even conceive of it, you know? But here's the idea, that all of this Vedic literature, as we say many times on the show, it's important for us to understand reality. It's important for us to become free of all of our sufferings in life, to let go of all our attachments and experience our own spiritual nature. That's all so important. But when you get to the Bhagavatam, what Vyasa finally reveals with, in great detail, is that all of that becoming free of the influence of the material energy, the blossoming of its full value is found in love. It's found in divine love, that this divine love is the highest principle. And all of this yoga is ultimately meant to bring us there. And we read about that divine love in the Bhagavatam, and we read about the most beautiful and intimate divine love in the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam in Vrindavan, right? In that place where Krishna reveals his whole being, his whole heart. You know, people say Krishna is the God of love, right? People speak about that, and maybe often when like people are saying that, they're saying it kind of like in a bit of a kitschy, fun way. Oh yes, he plays with the gopis, and he, people that don't really understand all the tattva, they don't really understand the significance of it all. They see, oh, he's playful and he's beautiful. That's sweet. He's the God of love.
Yeah.
But really, if we could understand that, meaning that it becomes a much deeper theological concept, that all-powerful being, who with just a spark of his energy, right, creates unlimited universes from the pores of his body, right, and does other unlimited things, that he, even though he's so powerful, so unlimited, omniscient, etc. All the stuff that we consider God, when we think of God with great awe, that his only interest is he has no interest in power. He has no interest in creation. He has no interest in judging. His only interest is in love. Therefore, he creates all these different, he expands as all these different avatars or empowers these different beings to take care of the material realm because he's just interested in love. And when he comes into this material world as Krishna, he brings his realm of love with him, and he just shows people what that love looks like. And that's what we read about in the 10th canto. He's so captivated by love and nothing else that he even becomes controlled by it, right? When one has love for Krishna, they can control God, that most powerful of all forces. That's how powerful bhakti or divine love is.
Mm-hmm.
So with that brief background, now let's look at Krishna. Now the very pinnacle of the not only the Bhagavatam, not only all the Vedic literature, not only the Bhagavatam, not only the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam, but the climax of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam is there in the Rasalila, where Krishna dances with the gopis, right? And we've spoken about how they give up everything. They run out of their homes when they hear Krishna playing the flute, and they come running to give everything. And Krishna teases them, you should go back to your homes and to your dharmas and to your duties and to your family life and home life. And they're like, we have no interest in all of the things of this world. We just want to serve you with love. Please accept us. Tears in their eyes. And Krishna accepts them, and they dance. And that dance is the most exceptional, beautiful, perfect, mind-blowing manifestation of love being expressed in the most beautiful, artistic way. Even the demigods are like flying above it, showering flowers down on it, just saying, what is this that we're witnessing? It's just inconceivable, the beauty, the depth of this love. And at the end of that dance, Krishna feels like, I wish the gopis, they've given me their hearts. They've given me their full love, right? I wish I could reciprocate and give them something back. But he realizes that the love that they have for me and what they're feeling in their hearts, that there's nothing that exists that can compete with that. They've already got the highest thing there is to have. So he says to them, I wish I could reciprocate with all that you're giving me. But all I can do is say, please be happy with the divine love that you have in your heart, because there's nothing more to have. And in that realization, he realizes they have something that I don't have. They've got love for God in their heart, which is such an exceptional experience that I'm not capable of feeling because I'm God. I'm the object of that love. I wonder what it feels like to have that prema that Radha has for me. What would it be like to feel that? Because I can see her ecstasy is greater than mine. Her ecstasy of loving the divine source of all being is more powerful even than being loved. What does it feel like to feel that in the heart? He becomes captivated by this idea. And the only way that he can experience it is by coming as a devotee of himself, following in the footsteps, in the mood, with the complexion of Srimati Radharani. And therefore he comes as Sri Chaitanya. That's who Sri Chaitanya is.
You're blowing some minds right now. But I can give a very practical example. Here's the most practical example. When, we would play a big show, our band, play a big show. You travel there, you get in the van or the bus and go there, it's backstage and stuff like that. You're sort of excited, sort of fun. You're going to put on a performance, a lot of people showing up, and there's like a buzz in the air, and the band takes the stage, and everybody's, and you put on a quote performance, or you sing your songs, etc., and it's fun and it's joyful and it's really good. But the people in the audience, they are enjoying it more. And I've even said that to myself while singing on stage. I was like, they are enjoying this more than I'm enjoying this. They've actually been like meditating on all day long. Oh, we're gonna get to go to this concert, or we're gonna get to go to, I'm gonna spend this
They're
whole
more into
week.
it than you're into it.
The band's coming to town this week. I'm gonna spend all week listening to their songs. I touched their foot. I was in the front row and I grabbed his ankle and I threw my hand up and he high-fived me. It's like, to me, to high five people, it's nice. It's a nice gesture. But imagine if you're a fan and, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix, Taylor Swift, they just come up to you and high five you. When I was young, I was high fived by Annabelle from Bow Wow Wow. And I was like, oh, that was incredible. She didn't think it was that incredible. She was probably like, yep. She must have felt like, you know what? It's cool. People think I'm cool. I'm going to high five this kid. I thought like, oh my God, I'm going to tell people about this story forever. And sure enough, I still am.
There you are.
So my point is like, there's so much love in the devoted, those who are devoted. They have a different, if not a higher taste than the person who's actually at the center.
Prabhupada would use the example of a mother with a child, right? The babe, like if a new mother has her baby in her hands, the baby's feeling the love of the mother, and that feels wonderful. But the mother's heart is just melting like insane. And so Krishna's looking at Radha and saying like that, he comes to Sri Chaitanya to experience Radha's love. He experiences it in kirtan. He experiences it chanting the holy names. He experiences in hearing Bhagavatam. He experiences it in hearing the poetry of the great bhakti poets. In the association of just a couple of, it's said that Radha's closest friends, Lalita and Vishaka, also come with Sri Chaitanya as Ramananda Roy and Swarup Damodar Goswami. Because who better can help him experience the mood of Radha than Radha's deepest, most intimate friends?
That's just a whole interesting point of like Chaitanya Leela is that, in this world, I love trying to understand things of this world when we try to understand the celestial world. And of this world, whenever someone very important shows up, rarely do they do something alone.
They bring the entourage.
They bring an entourage. And so when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes,
the whole entourage.
Yeah.
comes.
First, when Krishna comes, all the demigods are ordered by Brahmaji to take birth in certain
and
dynasties.
All his Goloka associates come as well.
Yeah. And then sure enough, when Lord Chaitanya appears, same thing. All these associates from Krishna's Leela start to appear in different Brahmin households all around. Then also the demigods who are big fans. They're like the big fans. The fans come as well. Yeah. When the Lord Chaitanya was little, the demigods wanted to have darshan. So they would either just manifest, because they can do this, as just ordinary people and just sort of like walk around the village and peek in on the house. But they were not from the village. They were actually higher beings, if not aliens, some people would call them, and just peer in just to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. Or sometimes they would come in an invisible form and they would just appear almost like, did you ever have like was that you feel like a shadow came by? So they would appear like that, like hovering around the room in like an unmanifest form. And then when people would see, and especially in cultures like that actually believed in spirits and ghosts and stuff like that, they would think, oh, there's a ghost in here trying to pack my child. They'd say, oh, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. And Lord Chaitanya would be very happy that they're calling out Vishnu's name. But it was actually the demigods who also wanted to come to take part in the Leela, have the darshan of the Leela. Everybody was attracted because in the spiritual world, everybody's attracted to Krishna. And in this world, everybody's attracted to Krishna, even higher beings.
Even higher beings. And so then now you have Sri Chaitanya. This is Krishna himself. It's not even exactly an avatar. It's Krishna. It's not anything like the other avatars, like Vishnu. That's just like it's Krishna, but he's just showing a part of himself. But it's Sri Chaitanya, that is Krishna himself with a different complexion. But his whole fixation, his whole internal fixation, is experiencing that love of Radha, Mahabhav, the deepest, purest, most overwhelming, powerful love that exists. Radha's love he's experiencing. Now, that's his internal experience. He's come for two reasons, though, it said, right? He has this internal experience of prema. But it's said that when you take that prema, when it's pointed, when the devotee has love for God in their heart and it's focused on Krishna, we call it prema. And that same feeling of love, when it's pointed at Krishna, it's called prema. But it's when it's pointed at the living entities of this world, it manifests as compassion. Right, the same love turned the other way is overwhelming compassion, and because he's feeling the most intense love, prema, that when he turns that same intense love, it becomes the most intense compassion. It becomes the deepest, most powerful, most overwhelming, most almost illogical, beyond reasonable mercy, is manifest in that form of Sri Chaitanya. So in this age of Kali, the age where mercy is most needed, the age where people are confused and quarreling constantly and disturbed minds and suffering so intensely, he's just giving compassion like crazy. It's very, very special manifestation and very, very special opportunity, because he's saying, I'm just gonna the most precious thing, this prema in the heart, is more precious than life on the heavenly planets and on the higher planets. Far more precious than the experience of liberation into the Brahmajyoti. It doesn't even compare to the treasure that this is. I can't just wait around to find people that are qualified for it. People are suffering. I'm going to give it. I'm just going to give it out. I'm going to get everybody to help me. And that's what Sri Chaitanya's followers are doing, is like, take this prema, just chant this name. Even if you have no qualification, even if you aren't some great yogi, even if you can't perform austerity, even if you're incapable of performing precise ritual, all the different things that were important and all the other Vedic considerations, I don't consider them at all. I don't care. Here, just take it, and you'll get the greatest reward.
I can't do a good, according to my Iyengar yoga teacher, I can't do a appropriate up dog. Am I still qualified to get it, Kaustubha?
We're not qualified, but he's giving it anyway.
He's giving it anyway?
Yeah.
Even if I can't do an appropriate up dog?
Yeah, and so this manifestation of Sri Chaitanya, when you hear the glory, we wanted to read some verses, and these verses, they may sound too esoteric, or the glorification is just too high. I don't really get it. We want to give this background to just understand that when the great sages, when the demigods themselves are saying, hold it, this is beyond, we are devoted to the avatar of Vishnu. This is way beyond that. This is inconceivable. How he's calm in this merciful mood. Whoa, I thought I was lucky to be up here on the heavenly planets. The people on earth right now, where Sri Chaitanya appeared, they're getting the greatest gift. It's way beyond what I've got. They're the fortunate ones. The most unfortunate become the most fortunate by the grace of Sri Chaitanya. So maybe we can read a little bit from Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur's Chaitanya.
I think before we even get into that, it's good to say that I think everybody, especially I'm looking at all the Zoomer faces right now, people listening on Zoom, but people out there listening, we've all been touched by this stuff, or most of us wouldn't be here. It's all affected us in a deep way, to the point where we were coming back on a regular basis. Some of you guys have radically shifted your life around to take more bhakti into your life. Some people have given up things they were attached to. Some people that weren't serving them. Some people have radically changed their behavior and their habits, because there's something sweeter on the other side of that. And you should understand that that was given to you by Lord Chaitanya. So that's how you can fully, you may not appreciate some of these verses. I was doing this to my kids the other day. I was just like, where do you hear this verse? And I read something from Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, and my 10-year-old goes, I don't get it. I was thinking, maybe Kaustubha's going to read this, but we should understand, like, if bhakti has affected your life in some way, you should have that appreciation for, like, okay, I got that from Lord Chaitanya. That was handed to me by Lord Chaitanya. And I was just going to tell a simple story, because it reminded me, it's something very, very relatable, which was, there was a follower of Lord Chaitanya who was completely desperate. He was a well-to-do person. His name was Gangadas. And he was, this was under time of fierce colonialism, the time of Lord Chaitanya in India, where they could just, the rulers of the time could just do anything to you and you'd be helpless and living in some type of police state. And so one time he was getting attacked and his family was getting attacked and they were running, his wife and his daughters. And he was fearing they're going to kill me and, brutally molest or kill my children. I don't know what to do. And he was thinking, I might just have to. We don't even understand how horrible these situations, because most of us have never been in such a horrible situations. But this type of desperation makes you like, I want my whole family to just die or something. And so he was running towards the Ganga and he was praying, if there would be a boat here, I could get away. But it was like the middle of the night. He was being pursued, fearing for his family's life. You could imagine the terror within him. And he was praying, oh, my Lord, if please send a boat, save my family. What can I do? And sure enough, there was a boat there in the middle of the night. And he got on that boat. And he basically said, my life is yours if you can just save my family. And then when he got on the boat, he said to the boatman, I will give you anything. Please protect my family. Take me away from this place right now. And so that happened. It was sort of like, we've all had sort of miracles, little miracles like that. We say a prayer and something happens. Please help me out of this situation. And something happens. But he never told anybody about that. And during the Mahaprakash, that's when Lord Chaitanya had those nightly kirtans. And he revealed himself as the avatar. Otherwise, he was not showing that off so much. He'd always say, no, I'm just a servant of God. But he was revealing himself as God. He called this Gangadas forward. He said, Gangadas, do you remember when you were ardently praying for me? No one knows this story, but I do, because it was me that came in the boat for you. Your ardent, sincere prayers called me from the spiritual realm to manifest there right at that moment to save your family. And so this type of and I know a lot of people listen to the show, they're serious. They're serious about their spiritual life. They have that fervor, the ardent prayer in their heart. And some of them are praying like that on a regular basis. And that's demonstrated by the way they show up on a regular basis. Lord Chaitanya works that magic in your life as if he's your private God. He's not, but he has that ability to be in everyone's life like that, as if he's your own private God. And so therefore, you're doing everything right. And it's good to hear these things on a regular basis. And when you do it, you start to taste those things. And then it starts to change your life, radically change your life in the same way it changed Gangadas's life. Thank you, Kaustubha.
Maybe that police officer that pulled you over and pulled Mara over, maybe that was like a demigod.
It could have been a demigod.
Maybe
if we didn't get pulled over, there'd be a tragic accident.
That's what I'm saying.
And one day, Lord Chaitanya, remember that cop that came banging on your window, looked at your sergeant's card and threw it back at you and said, this means nothing to me. You're in South Carolina, boy. Maybe that was Lord Chaitanya.
And then again, maybe not.
He did have sort of a dark golden tan.
Yeah,
he was very beautiful, had long arms past his knees. His hair was long and flowing.
Like large lotus petals.
He did have a yellow dhoti on, actually. A silken yellow dhoti.
All right, Raghunath, let's hear some of the prayers.
He was manifesting arms holding a flute, a water pot. Okay, go on.
So again, considering everything that we've been trying to say, and in some small way, kind of share just how this is more special than even regular avatars. It's like the manifestation of Sri Chaitanya is just the highest, most beautiful, most fantastic, esoteric manifestation of Krishna.
So this is Prabodhananda, right? So he's the Saraswati.
Prabodhananda Saraswati. Sri Chaitanya, when he went to South India, he stayed in the home of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati's relatives in Sri Rangam,
He was already a very
4
evolved
months.
scholar,
Yes.
sannyasi,
Yeah,
but he
I don't know if
worshipped
was a
Lord
sannyasi
Vishnu.
then, but yeah.
And then when he met
Yeah.
Lord Chaitanya, everything
Lord
shifted.
Chaitanya stayed in his home for 4 months, and then he went to Vrindavan, and then he wrote all this beautiful literature. So he
Imagine that. Lord Chaitanya lives in your house for 4 months.
be great.
I'd be like, man, I got to get my act together. Got to wake up early,
He
pick
doesn't
up
go
my
to your
socks.
house unless you do have your act together. Okay, so this is from chapter 1 of his book, the Chaitanya Chandramrita. The chapter 1's entitled in the beginning, an invocation of auspiciousness and a description of the contents of these prayers. Text 1. I just got about 15 verses or so here. I just selected
Okay.
some. Let us glorify the boundless, merciful, supreme personality of God, the Prince of Raja, is Krishna. To taste the intoxicating sweet waves of the nectar of transcendental love for Krishna, as well as to give that nectar to others, he has now appeared in the transcendental abode of Navadvip as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One who is untouched by any piety, who's check,
Check.
who is completely absorbed in irreligion,
Check.
or who has never received the merciful glance of the devotees, or been to any holy places sanctified by them, will still ecstatically dance, loudly sing, and even roll about on the ground when he becomes intoxicated by tasting the nectar of the transcendental mellows of pure love of God given by Lord Chaitanya. Let me therefore glorify that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so this is what we were talking about, right? Not obtainable by the faithful performers of pious deeds.
Nope.
Not understood by those engaged in austerity, meditation, and yoga. Not guessed by those absorbed in detachment, renunciation, or prayers, and unknown even to the devotees full of love for Lord Govinda. The secret of pure devotional service has been revealed by the holy name during Lord Gaura's advent. Let me glorify that Lord Gaura. Gaura means golden, right? That golden one. What benefit did the world attain? Not this is how Prabodhananda Saraswati
he speaks in extremes.
Yeah, he'll minimize things that are incredibly glorious to just show how glorious Sri Chaitanya is. What benefit did the world attain when Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimha, and many other incarnations of God had killed so many Rakshasas and demons? How important is it that Lord Kapila and other incarnations revealed the paths of Sankhya and Yoga? How glorious is it that Lord Brahma and other Guna avatars create, maintain, and destroy the material universes? How auspicious is it that Lord Varaha lifted the earth from the Garbhodakshi ocean? We do not consider any of these activities to be very important. The most important thing is that Sri Chaitanya has revealed the great splendor of pure love of Krishna. Let us glorify that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? There's nothing more incalculably glorious than the revelation of the deepest, purest love of Krishna. And he gave that. Now here's some text from chapter 2, which is the auspicious introduction in the form of offering obeisances. O Lord Chaitanya Chandra, the moon, Lord Chaitanya. O Lord, whose form is full of blissful pastimes. O Lord, whose complexion is as splendid as gold. O Lord, who gives in charity, just giving it out, the nectar of pure love of Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. To Lord Hari, Krishna, his eyes now like millions of rain clouds shedding torrents of tears. The opulence of pure love of Krishna making him laugh at millions of Vaikuntha worlds. Okay, let's be clear. It's saying now you have Krishna here and he's feeling that prema that Radha has. It's manifesting in rain clouds shedding torrents of tears, millions of clouds. And the opulence of pure love of Krishna, he's feeling this pure love. It makes him laugh at millions of spiritual realm that doesn't have this type of prema just seems entirely insignificant to him. His charming handsomeness, like millions of nectar oceans, and his role now that of a sannyasi. I offer my respectful obeisances. Now a few from chapter 3, the auspicious introduction consisting of benedictions. You want a benediction, Raghunath?
Yeah, it is 9:02.
Yeah, let's go a little over. Come on, Raghu. Don't be a grumpus.
I got a
Loosen
whole
up.
household of kids here.
Yeah, they need to hear this too. Get them over
They're not
here.
listening. They're in the other room.
Then they're missing out on the nectar. May Lord Chaitanya, whose shoulders are like a lion's, whose smiling cheeks are the sweetest of all sweet things, whose body displays various wonderful symptoms of ecstatic love of Krishna, whose features are as splendid as the whorl of a blossoming golden lotus flower, and who is Sri Radha and Krishna joined in a single form, protect you all. When he saw new rain clouds, he was reminded of Lord Krishna and became like a madman with love for him. When he saw a peacock feather, he became agitated. And when he saw a Gunja bracelet, he trembled. When he saw a dark-complexioned boy, he thought he had just seen Lord Krishna, and he became filled with fear and wonder. In this way, Golden Lord Hari preached the glories of pure devotional love for himself, creating tidal waves in the ocean of mercy, splendidly dressed in wonderful saffron garments as glorious as the sunrise, and glowing with the nectar of pure love of Krishna. May the wonderful and handsome moon of Lord Chaitanya, which has risen from the milk ocean of Sachi's womb, enter the sky of your heart. Chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, his own holy names, which bring auspiciousness to the world, his hand trembling with love as he touches the knotted string about his waist to count the number of names, his face bathed in tears as he comes and goes, eager to see his own form of Lord Jagannath, and bringing great delight to the eyes of all. May the golden form of Lord Hari protect you all. Uprooting the darkness in the hearts of the entire world, making the nectar ocean of the bliss of pure love of Krishna overflow its shores without limit, and cooling this universe tormented by the threefold miseries. May the splendid moonlight of the moon of Lord Chaitanya Chandra eternally shine within your hearts. Mic drop.
That's it. Happy Purnima. Everyone. Thank you for joining us today on this
You feel
very
better,
auspicious day.
Feeling more cheery?
Feeling a little
now?
better. Feeling a little
Not
better.
so grumpy?
Go eat a croissant. That's how good I feel.
You gotta fast today, Baba.
I am fasting.
Only
but,
croissants.
well, I'm fasting from not fasting.
I see.
Fasting from fasting. And I'm going to go to the temple. I'm looking forward to it. Rally all these kids dress up in lovely clothing. Go worship Lord Chaitanya. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. It's a special day today. Special day. Give a little bit more time today if you can. Carve out a little bit of time to do some chanting. Maybe chant one round japa on your japa malas if you've never done that. Maybe if you do one round a day, maybe you double it. Maybe you do 2 rounds today. Some of you do 4 rounds. Maybe you double that. Maybe today's double it day. What do you think about that?
Double down.
Double it, double down. And here's Tarun. Hi, Tarun. He's not here. Everybody's awake now.
Maybe I can give you darshan over here.
Oh, yeah, give Darshan. Okay, let's look at his altar. Tarun, come here. You lost your camera, sir. It just says Kaustubha. Black letters. Let's give Darshan to somebody else. Kaustubha walk around with this computer, but he cannot. He's probably showing his computer like
No, I don't know why.
all the
think I-
deities. Here's Prabhupada. Here's Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet. You can't see anything, Prabhu.
I know. I'm trying to.
You're
fix
looking out at the void right now. What are you worshiping?
I don't know why I went out. I guess the Lord was not going to give this darshan.
Okay. Look, everybody. It's a beautiful day for a beautiful day.
Actually, I can do it.
Vaja
I know that one.
Goranga. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna.
Hey.
Get darshan through the pictures.
Oh, got it now?
No. You just see the black Krishna's complexion.
I
Lightly.
can't help you, brother. Sorry.
Krishna is a rascal. A cheater and a liar and a thief. Okay, everyone. Beautiful day for a beautiful day. Let the magic continue to flow in a magical Haribo. Hare Krishna.